Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and this is the Weather and Lifestyle News Show. Hey, 5.5 in Sacramento. Wow. I mean, I used to live in Sac, and I've never, ever heard of an earthquake in Sacramento. And it was a good sized one, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So I got all kinds of news today. Not news, but just fun stuff. Yeah, happy Friday. Did this week go by quick? Here in about 2 weeks, I'm going to take a trip out to Tennessee to see my sister again. I'm going to go out and harass her for a week. I'm going to just make her I make her laugh, I think. So she does watch the show, and I'm happy to have her around. We did so many years without her. So welcome, and please subscribe to the show. Karen, I think, is AWOL today. I think we kept her up too late last night. Um, and for those that watched late last night, boy, we had a lot of viewers. Um, I'm going to speak a lot on it on the next show of what's happening at the border. So, yeah, well, yeah, it'll. Susan, thank you for happy travels. Yeah. In fact, I even think I've made a new viewer today. I talked to a lady that came to the house, and she was like, "Oh," I showed her everything, and she says, "Oh, wow, uh, you had to work the next day." I did too, Susan. That hurt. I'm getting too old to stay up like college hours till 2 and try to get up at 4:30. It don't work. I mean, I went back to bed and I said, "Oh, I don't even know. I gotta do trivia." I was doing trivia in my sleep, and I got up and realized I hadn't even done trivia yet. So, yeah, you're listening, but you're stuck in traffic. Uh, well, I thought they were going to fix that. All these cars that drive by themselves, and then Tesla even had a recall. And it's freaky what how their recall is. And the weather, oh boy, get this. A tree fell down in Conway here. We made the Weather Channel, and this tree's huge. It was a 600-year-old tree that fell over and crushed half a lady's house. Her two sisters lived there. And I was like, well, where's this at? And it's quite a bit away from me. And then I look at the trees I got in my yard, and it's like, oh, this is scary because the ground is very saturated. And so, I look out and look at my tree and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I ought to go push on a little bit, but push it across the street, not our way. I don't know. I don't want my whole house crushed. This was huge. It was a huge tree. And then I went to find it on the Weather Channel and they didn't have it. They showed it this morning, but then they didn't have it. So I found other stuff. So, wow. So a big tree fell over in Conway. We made the Weather Channel. We're somebody now. When stuff happens in Conway and we make the big news, boy, we feel all famous and feel like stars for a day. So, and the lady didn't look bad. Usually they get these people. Oh boy, they get these people here that, and I'm not gonna say they're all like that. There's just some, and boy, when they do reports with them, I want to hide. And it's even. I heard it's worse in Alabama. Yeah, I have family that used to live there, and she said, "Oh, it's worse there." I don't know what is it with the South, or no, what is it with? I must say, just all news reports, folks, where it brings out the worst that want to be in front of the camera, and some of these commercials. You seen the commercials? Are they not real pretty models anymore that we're using? I mean, not that I want to look at pretty models. Well, yeah, the men kind, but what's happening to the commercials? I mean, I know they're trying to be equal, but what's the word? Fugly. There you go. I'm going to end it at that. We're going to go to the weather. Um, put in the laughy faces for that one. Um, so we're off to a stormy start, and I looked at my weather, and it's stormy for a week, and then I seen that tree fall over, and I'm like, oh, good grief. Okay, so Here's the weather. Karen knows what I'm talking
Stay
about.
aware of the dangers of heavy rainfall in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. These red shaded areas have a level 3 out of 4 risk for excessive rainfall. And these are also the same places where a flash flood threat is most possible. But flooding could happen anywhere where rain bands or clusters of storms move slowly or hit the same areas more than once. Now, depending on how much rain falls over the weekend, the flood risk might be higher on Monday. We don't want anyone to be caught off guard. The storms are going to be moving slowly, and that is what's upping the odds of seeing rain totals adding up, which in turn could lead to flooding. If you live in a flood prone area, you need to be ready and know where to go to get to higher ground quickly if you have to. The Weather Prediction Center has talked about rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour, and overall, the ingredients are there to drive a heavy rainfall threat. And then, due to the drought, the heavy rain may run off more than soak into the ground, which is hardened from the recent lack of rains.
And wow, did you guys hear about all them tornadoes that hit all the way Oklahoma, all the way to the east? It just state after state after state, it got hit. And, I could go through and show them all, but I just, people look just too sad and forlorn because you lose everything. I mean, I've seen it here. I've been to towns where they have. And the one thing they want to find is their pictures, certificates, documents, and it's just all gone. It's all gone. Um, okay, so the quake in Sacramento. Boy, I didn't even pull up the earthquake map. I'll have to get that up. I got so excited about Sacramento. They felt it as far away as um, uh, about 150 miles away, it says, and it struck near the east shore um, of California. Residents of Sacramento said they were feeling it, um, and they said ground failure was minimal. Now, what I've learned from uh, Dutch sense, I'm going to pull up this map real quick. Oops. And hopefully it'll show the Sacramento one on there. Does it? No, it don't. Oh, doggone it. Leave it to them, USGS, not to show my Sacramento quake. All right. Oh, the thing about it is it's off one of them smaller fault lines. And a long time ago with Dutchens, I heard him say that the San Andreas fault, and you could see the crack, and it goes further and further and further up. And um, and he says, he doubts it would ever hit like the Sacramento Valley or anywhere there. It's going to stay pretty much along the coast. Well, now we have this Sacramento. Now, so what does that mean? Um, a good possibility that, uh, okay, why is it? Huh, I'm getting, uh, oh boy, I get a dead silence on here, and I'm screwing up as I pull things up. They changed some of the format with the StreamYard, and I'm still getting used to it, and it don't do what it used to do, so it's kind of backwards. I mean, why didn't they just leave it alone? Okay, all right. So what we're seeing, folks, is we're seeing lots of clusters. Now, I said yesterday all those earthquakes were supposed to go in between. And it looks like they did go in between, but they clustered up, which will strengthen the amount of earthquakes. But not only that, if they're really deep, that'll cause underground cracks, and even maybe cause a few volcanoes. Now we do have Hawaii back today, Karen, um, and I do have a video on the the volcanoes that are very active, and a lot of people didn't know about. So they did get one in Pahala, and that was only a 2.9. Now, the one that kind of got me was over here in West Chili Rise, the 4.9. And then we had one on the South Side Sandwich Islands, 4.6. Remember, I said it's going to go up? Well, we had that 5.5. Now, I don't like. Um, I don't like how if they have a really strong earthquake, they downgrade it. And I didn't catch Sacramento as soon as it happened. I'm wondering if it was bigger than what they said, because at a 5.5, everything should be fives. And, we even look over in Tonga, that's a 4.8. Remember, we're getting the same numbers, 4.6 in Vanuatu. Then we go over to Guam, it had a 5.1, and that wasn't even equal to the Sacramento quake. So it isn't something that just went straight across. And then we look at the Philippines had a 4.6. And then at the tip of Australia, and Cable Beach had one. And here, I'm going to say about 2, 3 weeks ago, uh, Australia had small ones and twos all the way around the whole country. I mean, it looked weird. It looked like you could just connect the dots and make one big circle all the way around Australia. And Dutchens even said, I bet you here in the next few weeks are going to have one in an odd spot. And lo and behold, today, 4.5. Now, he always predicts them, Karen, what is it, 7 days? And but he said they would probably have one, and he didn't say when. But lo and behold, I think he was right. I'm gonna make sure I don't have nothing real low and not missing nothing. Now we did have one over in China. China's been getting a lot of them lately. Uh, we were and what got me in uh, the South Seas that we're having all this war about. It's so active. This is just makes me wonder. So the Philippines had a 4.6, and Taiwan had a 4.5, and then a 4.6 in Taiwan, and then the Philippines had a 4.4. Now get this with harp. I know I mentioned harp a lot with you guys, and I tell you to go watch Angels Don't Play That Harp with Dr. Begich. But he says, when HAARP puts out that pulse that starts earthquakes, he said they're usually in between ones and twos. Well, they've upgraded the HAARP system, come to find out. And I'm wondering with all these fours if this is just speculation, conspiracy. So Facebook and YouTube, don't ban me for speculating and guessing that it could be HAARP in a type of weather war is what they call it. And it's known to happen. All right, so Japan had a 4.3, and then they had another 4.1. And then we go up, and then they get real small on Atka, Alaska. So then we go up, and here we got Lazy Mountain, Alaska. Boy, that sounds like a place to live. Lazy Mountain. And that was a 3.3. Now, a lot of these are deep, folks. They're not shallow like we've been seeing. I said surface quakes. A lot of these are within 10 or more miles deep. It's not on the ground or 3 or 4 miles under. These are getting deep. And then a weird one in the Northwest Territories of Canada, that was a 3.7. And then right after we have the Sacramento, we have one that went above to Canyon Dam. And that was a 5.2, and that was shallow. Then we go down to Cabazon, California. And that was only a 2.8. And then over to Texas, 2.5. Then we had a cluster on the islands of Puerto Rico, and let me get a few of these. They're all twos and threes. Virgin Islands, and like I said, they're clustering up. And then we had the cluster in Colombia, and another one in Ecuador. Uh, and those were 4.5s and 4.6. And then we go down to Peru, 4.3, and Chile. So now you would say, well, there's fours over there. How come would that be a HAARP thing? No, it's usually directional. And I don't see where they would what they would be playing weather wars in South America for. I think these are due to the quake out of Sacramento because it goes in the ring of fire and it always goes clockwise. For this one to go back up, that's really weird because Prattville even had one up north today. And so that it went reverse and then it came back down and around. And then if you get over to Malta, which is odd, the land of the giants, it got a 4.1, and Turkey. Um, they got one at a 4.5, but they've been getting them a lot. Afghanistan 4.0, and then one in Yemen, of all places. Now, that was a 4.4. Now, I'm wondering, with all the stuff happening in Yemen and even Libya, I'm wondering if this isn't one of them, a huge explosion. Or, we just have to wait and see what's in the news. I'm going to look because I could be totally wrong. All right, earthquakes. So I'm going to move on and um, Hawaii. Okay, this is very interesting because we really don't hear much about Hawaii and the Kilauea and some of and the other um, volcanoes. I mean, we hear they spew, and then we don't hear nothing about them. And we know that Hawaii, they have sometimes 100 earthquakes a day, and it was really abnormal for that. And then now we've been getting an increase of all the earthquake. Um, a detour. Oh, don't you just love them? Yeah. All right. So why, boy, I am just having um this thing is just working for me today. Now, hopefully this fixes it. Um, okay. So there we go. Karen, this ain't working today. And they just let me know today that they changed this thing. And I was like, okay, I'll figure it out when I get in there. And this is frustrating today. All right, so Hawaii, here we go. Okay, so what'd you think of that, folks? That's beautiful. I mean, I seen that and it was like, that's just gorgeous. But it really lets you know that it's still going because a lot of people thought even the one that blew up 2018 was gone and done for. And come to find out, it's still flowing. All right, I want to hurry up and get into some of this other stuff. So, um, now, hope this one isn't as long, but this is just weird. it is a it says it's a crawling um, robot or drone. They say doesn't drone and robots. They say some are the same, but this one is a crawling one that looks like a snake. Well, I got videos today. Um, so here we go. Let's watch it. So wow, a crawling robot. Oh wow! Now that's to me that's just crazy. All right, the Grand Canyon National Park renames campground to honor the Havasupai tribe. Thank you. A lot of those places out there in Indian Territory should have been named after them. We have been, if anybody deserves reparations, folks, it's Indians. Um, I'll leave it at that. You know, um, it was their land first. So the Grand Canyon National Park renames the campground, and dozens of Havasupai tribe members gathered to celebrate the event at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And they said they're very proud. They have a sense of completion, but it's only a start, they say. And they said what was odd was the animals were out and the birds soared above them. Even the reptiles came out and scampered about. Meant to be, folks. Uh, and one of the ladies said, I can't believe how far I've come. This is amazing. And she says, I can't believe my ancestors used to do this all the time. And she pointed out and opened her arms. And uh, yeah, wonderful. Great story. All right. Um, um, a bear and bulletproof travel trailer is ready. You know, this thing, it sprays and I don't know why I don't know if you'd want to take this. It's huge. This thing is big. Um, but it's a bear repellent. Um, and oh, you guys are just going to have to see this thing. This is what it does. Okay, there you go. So it's to repel bears. Um, they say it's got night vision cam, built-in bear spray system, and it could surround if it surrounds a vehicle or tries to come up close. They shoot that repellent, and it will go away. Um, they say that some of this is it's smaller, a little bit smaller, but it will repel the bears. And you can use it for your home security. I don't get it. I think somebody's got a grand idea, but it needs to be about half that size. One little sprayer and a big horn on it. But who knows? People might be interested in that. Now, Tesla recalls almost all of its over 1 million cars in China. And why? For some reason, these 1.1 million electric cars um, uh, made in China, all the vehicles it had sold in China have now got serious braking defects. Um, so they say that almost all of their cars, they said either made by Tesla at its Shanghai factory were imported between 2019 and April 23. And China is now sent over the Air software fix so the issue could be rectified. And it said it didn't mean any ill will. Uh, um, All of a sudden we have a defect with the brakes. Oops. And they did it for years and they didn't want to fix it. People were complaining and they were saying that they should be recalled, and China wouldn't accept it. And now finally they have to. Wow. So, okay. Now, Chomp. Oh, a Chonk. I'm sorry, Chonk. Um, this is this is a turtle that has been growing in the Chicago River for a very, very, very long time. And they said this massive snapping turtle, nicknamed Chonkosaurus, has been in the Chicago River all of its life, they think. And every once in a while, someone will catch sight of it. But no one really can get very many pictures or videos of Mr. Chonk. And he is a snapping turtle and he is mean, they say. They say he looks like a beast. And so this one guy he found it up on the rocks. And to me, it's like, ooh, turtle, you need a diet. But so here's Chonk, the Chonkosaurus right there. And they were glad to be able to capture him because not many people, and some thought he was a myth. Others thought it was just somebody making it up. But few people have seen Chonk in the Chicago River. So, wow. All right. We are on to, well, it's Mother's Day. So, I picked one that has something to do with women. And then I found this other one for Windows. Those old Windows computers. And, we had to go from Windows 7 and 8 and 9, and then it was 11, or it was 10 and 11. And boy, I had a hard time switching to all of these. And it says, the following was the new fix messages that are supposedly under consideration for all the Windows. And I was like, oh, this is for me. Maybe this will help. All right, but these are jokes, folks. All right. Enter any 11-digit prime number to be continued. Press any key to continue or any other key to quit. But then wait, press any key except, no, 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 no. Scratch the first and the second. And no, don't do that one either. Okay, bad command or file name. Go stand in the corner. This will end your Windows sessions. Do you want to play another game? I love that one when they would give you an error in the middle of your game. You're like, I was winning. And then you get back in there and then you lose. Yeah. And you can't kick your computer. Yeah. You throw popcorn. That's why we had the popcorn feature. A lot of you have seen. When I get mad, I throw popcorn because it doesn't break. It doesn't hurt anything. And the dogs, like, they'll clean it up. All right. Bad command or file name. Oh, I already did that one. I'm sorry. Windows message error file. Format drive now. Yes or yes. This message is from God Gates. Rebooting the world. Please log off and wait 10 minutes. Really? To shut down your system, type win. Breakfast, systems halted. Cereal port not responding. Coffee system is missing. Insert the cup in a cup holder and press any key. Now, I have always said, my friends know, that I needed a coffee maker hooked onto my tower. So, and I even threatened to bring my coffee pot in here because it's so far. It's way that way far. It's uphill through my hallway, through dog hair and dust bunnies to get the other side. And then I find out it's an automatic shut off and it's cold because then it goes both ways. And I got to go back up the hill in the hallway. Yeah. Okay. Air reading fat record. Try skinny one. Bat and missing mouse. Spank the cat. Yes or no. A user error, replace the user. Yeah, that'll work. Windows virus scan 1.0. Windows found Do you want to remove it? Yes or yes? Oh boy. So I hope everyone has a really good Mother's Day. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I just might kick everybody out of the house. Yeah, just kick them all out and say, go find something. If you're not going to clean up my house for me, go. And no, I'm not making food. All right. Um, so this one here is my mother taught me. I want to find something cute for Mother's Day. Some of them are cute and some of them throw the popcorn at the screen if you'd like. My mother taught me to appreciate a job well done. If you're going to kill each other, do it outside. I just finished cleaning. My mother taught me religion. You better pray that that will come out of my carpet. My mother taught me about time travel. If you don't straighten up, I'm going to knock you to the middle of next week. Boy, this sounds like my mom. My mother taught me logic. And why? Because I said so. That's why, she said. My mother taught me more logic. If you fall out of that swing and break your neck, you're not going to go to the store with me. My mother taught me foresight. Make sure you wear clean underwear in case you get in an accident. My mother taught me irony. Keep crying and I'll give you something to cry about. I always say there's no crying in fishing. And the kids just stop crying. They look at me, or if they're whining, I always say that. Or I say, we don't have that crying in Grandma's house. Yeah. All right. My mother taught me about stamina. You sit there till that spinach is finished, and don't hide it under the table. My mother taught me about weather. It looks as if a tornado swept through your bedroom. My mother taught me how to solve physics problems. If I yelled, if I yelled because I saw a meteor coming towards you, would you listen then? My mother taught me about hypocrisy. I told you once, I've told you a million times, don't exaggerate. My mother taught me the circle of life. I brought you into this world, I could take you out. My mother taught me behavior modification. Uh, Stop acting like your father. My mother taught me about envy. There are millions of less fortunate children in the world who don't have wonderful parents like you do. Mine was there are millions of less fortunate and the children that are starving. You eat everything on your plate. That's what my mom would have said. My mother taught me about receiving. You're going to get it when I get home. My mother taught me medical science. If you don't stop crossing your eyes, they're going to freeze that way. Mine always said, I'm going to hit you on your back and your face is going to freeze that way forever. Oh, yeah. My mother taught me to think ahead. If you don't pass your spelling test, you'll never get a good job. My mother taught me humor. Oh, she did. My mom was a lot like me, or I'm a lot like her. Um, when that lawnmower cuts off your toes, don't come running to me. Um, my mother taught me how to become an adult. If you don't eat your vegetables, you'll never grow up. My mother taught me about genetics. You're just like your father. There's another one like that one. My mother taught me about roots. What do you think? We were born in the barn? Okay, my mother taught me wisdom of age. When you get to be my age, you'll understand. And my all time favorite. One day when you have kids, I hope they turn out just like you. I said, one day when you have kids, there's a curse in our family. They're twice as bad as you. And then my daughter called me up one day crying, oh, it was true, Mom. They're worse, way worse than I ever was. Yeah. Okay, folks. So that is it. And it's a Friday. And join us in about 30 minutes for trivia and news. And I got a little bit of Biden. Boy, I got tears. I'm crying on some of those. Uh, not because I miss my mom, but happy Mother's Day, folks. Uh, it's because some of them cracked me up and I got tearful. Uh, anyway, so it's the weekend. Have a great Mother's Day. Subscribe. Hit the like button, hit that thumbs up and that bell. Share our show. We're getting bigger, and I think this. I'm not a mouth in the South. I think I'm kind of the humor lady of the South, from California. So come on back. We'll see you on Monday. And Monday's show is Justice for All, and then of course William's show. But we do have trivia coming up and news. So come on back for it. I thank you all for watching, and we will see you soon. And you know what? Enjoy the what I call the honky tonk ending.